Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Hannah Olson. I'm an elementary teacher turned stay-at-home mom to our two kids, Sophie and Soren. Sophie is 4.5, almost 5, and Soren is 2.5, just about 3. And our lives are full and busy, and we are also homeschooling, and that is what the topic of today's video is, and I'm so excited to share more with you. Now I get to show you truly what our setup looks like, and I will show you all of the resources. I will be linking everything I can below. Okay, this is in our kitchen to the right when you come in the front door, and I loved these built-ins, and right away when we bought this house I knew I'd be using them to store homeschooling stuff, so I've already opened the doors to show you, but I'll just start over here on the left quickly. We found this table and chairs on Facebook Marketplace. We actually have the exact same one at the apartment, and it works really well. We have an art cart, so I measured and made sure I ordered one that would fit perfectly right there. We've got all of our pencils, we've got erasable colored pencils, some crayons in a bag. We also have new crayons for the school year, and really sweet little Ticonderoga, which is our favorite pencil brand, erasers and sharpeners and kids scissors. Down here the kids don't access this as much, but I did buy them brand new paints for the school year because they love painting. We've got a leaf rubbing thing I found at a garage sale, and then down here we've got some of our Play-Doh tools and Play-Doh, and then construction paper is layered at the bottom. Then over here we've got all of the kids' coloring books, because especially Sophie, but Soren will join her, is really into coloring lately, and well, I guess for a long time she's been into coloring. And so we have our, Hobby Lobby dinosaurs and other books and notebooks for the kids to access. The cow one is of course for Soren, who loves cows, so I found that one on Amazon. Over here is just kind of where we keep our mail, but then this is the penny reward system. If you haven't heard of it, you should follow M is for Mama. M is for Mama on Instagram. She's got a lot of info about the penny reward system that you can access, and the kids are usually fairly motivated by their penny rewards. I have some cookbooks over here. I haven't quite figured out where to put them as we're continuing to settle into this house. Okay, over here on the right, I'll start on the right because it's the stuff we don't actually access all the time. We've got a lot of my reference materials, I guess you could say. We've got our first day of school chalkboard. We love it so much. If you follow me on Instagram, then you saw the kids holding that. I've got a past handwriting notebook of Sophie's. Here I've got my own references, or I don't know, resources from my years of teaching. So this is some word work and guided reading work that I can choose to do. We've got guided writing. I've got photocopies of games that, just countless games that I found during my years of being an elementary Title I teacher. So that was small group math and reading interventions. And I'm really excited to use those with the kids. Just, all sorts of math and phonics skills, little games. We've got the ABC See Hear Do, which is a really cute way to teach kids, oops, that's not a helpful page, to teach kids letter sounds. So if you have a child who really likes to act things out, then this is a really great little program. We're just a little past that now for Sophie. We've got some old, these are from Sunlight, a Sunlight level that I did with Sophie, and it's called Developing the Early Learner. It's just little short assessments you can do. And this is something I loved back when I was student teaching. When I was in it was called a residency program, so I was basically in the classroom all day, every day, a 3rd grade classroom, my last year of college, and we used systematic sequential phonics. You can kind of manipulate and move letters around. You say, okay, now switch the letters around to turn mug into rug. What letter do you add? And then they move little tiles around. So it's a cute, really systematic way to kind of review phonics. We've got some of my favorite homeschool books. I've really enjoyed reading The Brave Learner, This is a newer one for me, Homeschool Bravely, but it's been good so far. I just focused on some other books this summer. This one I've always loved. It's called Teaching from Rest. A lot of homeschooling moms like to start the year off reading this one. We've got a creative arts and crafts book. This is actually put out by The Good and the Beautiful. This one is a lot more detailed. It's called Drawing with Children. A lot of step-by-step instructions, and it is fabulous for teaching kids how to draw at their level too. And Mona Brooks, the author, she owns different art schools across the country, I believe. This one I just finished. I just skipped the sections on middle school and high school, but I loved it. This is all about classical education. It's called The Well-Trained Mind, and it has fabulous points. I was underlining so much. This one is just a United States coloring book, something to have on hand. This one is just a blank notebook that I thought was pretty, and so I can use that. These are Soren's sticker books. So whenever Sophie went to Cubby's, which was part of the Awana program on Wednesday nights, Soren and I would go have a date at a coffee shop because Bjorn was usually working late on Wednesday nights, especially last spring. And so Soren and I would have a date and work on these vocabulary sticker books. They are fabulous. He loves the sticker books. In here we've got just a printing letters. This is by Lakeshore, little practice book. This one's gonna be a little hard to show you here on camera, but it's a clear, like hard plastic dry erase thing where Sophie can practice her letters and numbers. And I even had it, this is from Etsy, so I had this personalized with her name at the bottom. Then The Good and the Beautiful has some fabulous little flip books. They have a large mammals one. This is kind of hilarious for the kids. Uh-oh, the mammals are mixed up. And you have to create mammals, but it's not always a correct mammal, and so you have to flip it around till it is a correct one. There's also a Beatles flip book The Good and the Beautiful has made, where you have to flip it around to match to create a beetle. And then there are letters flip books. These are for pre-K. I can't remember where these came from or if I bought them separately, but your child has to just flip it around till it says uppercase T, lowercase t, and then the turtle that matches with it. Also in here, I have all of our play pods. I absolutely love play pods. They are amazing. I have a whole blog post about them that I can link below, as well as highlights on my Instagram. So definitely go check out on my Instagram where I talk about them more and share about them more. Maybe I'll pull out one of my favorite ones. Play pods are just a really educational kind of activity packet or pod. This one is a create your own sugar cookies one, and they have a little recipe. They have cute little recipes where they suggest what you should put on them, and the frosting is felt, so it's just darling. These have entertained the kids, helped us when we've all been at an event with Bjorn, or when you're in church, doctor's appointments, anywhere you have to wait quietly. And I actually have a code for 10% off of your purchase at PlayPods because I've worked with them. I'm currently working with them, like I'm helping to promote the company, and I just love them so much I would promote them anyway, regardless. So this bin is just our grab and go, we're off to an event or off to a meeting or to church kind of a bin. This stuff doesn't come out all day, every day, or it wouldn't be special or interesting to the kids. I have these darling crayon rolls. These are from an Etsy shop. And this is Soren's. I thought it was cute because it's just patriotic. It just fastens with Velcro, and it holds mostly narrow sized crayons. Sophie has a pink one, and again, it's from an Etsy shop, and it's just such a cute way to store and bring crayons instead of sticking them in a Ziploc bag. Over here we've got manipulatives, so we've got Unifix cubes, or whatever you want to call these. Next we have our Geo board, so a bunch of rubber bands to go with this, and then little suggestion cards on shapes to make. I've got Sophie's, she's kind of beyond this, but this is her name. Oh, here it is. I have the letters for Olson and for Sophie, and then she can mix them around, and then I made a little reference piece of paper there. This was from an old koala crate. Is that called? It's from KiwiCo. So this is just some felt pieces to build letters with. Then these are some games that I printed out and assembled. I really liked this ending phoneme game because that's an important skill. Like guessing well, not guessing, being able to say what the ending sound of ham is, for instance. We've got a beginning phoneme game. This is a simple little concepts of print sort, so just a good reminder or review of what a letter is, what a word is, what a sentence is. And we have just some CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant, little word cards. And then in this bin, we've got a 10 frame and a Rec and Rec. If you haven't heard of this is called a Rec and Rec. It's not really an abacus, but it allows kids to, well, as they're counting, it's divided into 5s, and it just is a great way for kids to practice kind of number sense and really being able to add numbers or represent numbers. I got this one because it goes up to 20. This one is a 10 frame. I love this. This is from an Etsy shop, and I think we'll use it a lot over the years. I got this last year, I think. The child just takes the number, puts the wooden number in, and then this one came with some pretend acorns. They have real acorn tops, but it's kind of a squishy, not a real acorn. And then they just fill in how many 8 is. So that's a really good way to get some more number sense, especially with working with 10 frames. We've got a silly sentences little game here. We've got magnetic letter tiles, or magnetic letters, I guess you could say. Up here, I've got these. These are from Amazon. Really fun way to spin letters around and spell out all of these CVC words. Really fun for Sophie, especially at the level she's at right now. Up here, we've got some number pegs. This is fun. Soren has enjoyed doing these for a couple years now. Really great practice with manipulatives and just being able to sense how many 8 is, because once you fill in all the pegs, you've gotten to 8. So I think this goes up to just 10, but those are really sweet. And I think I found this on Amazon as well. We also have activities like, this brand is called Ebu. I'm probably not going to pull all of these out, but I'll just explain them a little bit. They have a lot of matching games where you have to match a situation or some animal's face, like they look sad or surprised, to the situation. So it really helps with emotional literacy. Up here we've got ones also by Ebu called Good Manners, What's Going On Here, like good inferencing ones. For those of you who live in Minnesota, we found these kinds of games. I first found this brand at that Minnesota's largest candy store. They have a ton of puzzles and games there, and I was so impressed with the brand, and we've kind of ended up collecting some over the years. This is a math game called Tiny Polka Dot. We have not started playing it yet, but it'll be really great for us over the years. I think it has like 16 math games all in this pack. It says the deck grows with your child, and it's just playful ways to teach math. I have little animal flashcards for Soren, a money game here, and this was from the Sunlight preschool level. It's called Teddy Mix and Match, and there's just 2 big cardboard teddy bears of each type of teddy bear. So it's a really cute little matching game for little kids. We also have this one called Mighty Mind. This is a fabulous activity. What they do is they tell you which shapes you need, and then it kind of tells you you're supposed to make the shapes into that other shape. And it's just really awesome for kids. I don't know that I've had Soren try this yet, but Sophie has enjoyed this in the past, so I need to remember to pull this out for him. When I decided I wanted more 10 frames work with the kids, I just decided to get this little set. There are 4 paddles. There are little foam magnetic pieces, so you can say, show me a 4, and then they can flip around their board and proudly show you that they've built 4 or something. We've really enjoyed using this some last year too. Over here are some materials that we use more like on a almost daily basis or weekly basis. And in my binder, I've got an attendance calendar, and I have worked out my own weekly planner. I do have specific things that say like Soren and what I want to do for our different loops. I'm trying to do more of a weekly glance instead of exact days, just because with things like farming or Bjorn's meetings or just kind of our traveling between the apartment and here, we don't always do the exact thing that I wrote to do on March 3rd. And so I know that's all like the case for so many people, but instead of just drawing an arrow to the next day, I decided to do a weekly glance. I will have to let you know how this actually goes as the year goes on. I designed this myself, so it took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to include, but I am excited about this weekly planner idea. We've got Sophie's pre-K journal over here. This is an almost every day or every other day thing. So what it is a preschool or pre-K prompt journal. And so it says what to do at the top, and I can kind of give her the directions, and then she is kind of able to do this independently while I work with Soren. I asked her to do pictures or things that start with A. So she did apple, applesauce. She felt like that didn't look like an alligator, but it was an alligator. Aside from letters, there are things like draw some items and tools that a farmer might use, or, you know, different things about seasons. And so it's a really darling notebook idea. I just got it all assembled this year, so I don't have to do any more work with it. It's just ready to grab and go. I have Sophie's kindergarten level curriculum in here for when we are ready. We are not quite starting with it yet. We're wrapping up the Good and the Beautiful's kindergarten prep level. So this is her level K, just kind of in the wings. This is the Little Hearts and Hands, Science for Little Hearts and Hands, which I talk a lot more about in a dedicated video all about this exact course book, so you can check that out on my channel. But it's a really, really cute science curriculum to do with little kids, and the kids have just loved it. They kind of rotate. They mostly have stories that you read from their science storybook, but they sometimes have a short video too. This is the storybook that comes with it, all about fields and flowers mostly, but I mean that includes things like worms. We talked about mosquitoes, which the kids were like horrified but also loving it. We talked about ants, butterflies. We did that lesson today. Really, really sweet. And like I've said, the good and the beautiful, they try to focus on what is just really positive. They have cute, positive family stories in here, and also just exploring the beauty of God's creation. Lots of fun facts in here. We've got an extra math workbook for Sophie. This is not the Good and the Beautiful, but it's an awesome brand called Mathematical Reasoning, and this is for age 4. It just has a really great way. These are some old ones Sophie's done in the past. Really, really great way to go through a bunch of different mathematical concepts, and it covers everything from like geometry to probability kind of, and number and operations. They have lots of different categories in here. I'll show you. Soren is actually using the age 3 one. This is another great art reference. It's called Artistic Pursuits. So then they have kind of a famous painting and kind of what that artist, not author, what the artist did to create it, and then they kind of lead you to try to do something similar yourself. I haven't gotten super into it, although I really love the concept of it. It's for early elementary, K through 3, so maybe that's why I haven't felt like it was super feasible for us just yet, because we've been, you know, working mostly through preschool and pre-K at this point. Then for a more classical education focus, we've got a CD set here of Cycle 1 CDs. It's called Foundations. It's about the United States. I am not going to do all of their weekly memory work or subject memory work or whatever, but what they do have that I like, let's see if you can see it here. What I like is their timeline songs. We have been able to find some of them on YouTube, but this is all in one place. They also have a President's song. Not sure that we will get into Latin, but we also have books of the Bible. The Age of Industry is part of the timeline songs. The Middle Ages, the Age of Ancient Empires. So this is a great time with these little minds to really fill it with songs about world history. I love how I am kind of demolishing this cupboard here as I'm pulling out everything to show you, but it's worth it. I want you to see all the things that we have. And then back here, this is just a small whiteboard. And I forgot to show you that in the art cart over here, lower down so the kids don't use them all the time, I have dry erase markers for whiteboard stuff. Right on the top here, on the left, are the kids' bins, and they know which bins are theirs. We're not really pulling out the entire bin. They're still, like, they fit pretty tightly in here, but the kids know what is theirs. Soren is so proud and excited that this is his bin, and he has a new math book, he says. And it says age 3. So this is that Mathematical Reasoning company, and this is the Beginning 1 book. So the book I showed you that is Sophie's extra math workbook is called Beginning 2. This one is specifically for age 3, and Soren has been just loving it so far. So let me back up a little here towards the beginning. Today we did how many hearts, color one of the hearts, and he was able to, you know, count and tell me that. They often have things where you read a question, like which picture has 1 dog, which picture has 3 dogs, and then he has to point. Also just counting out loud the number in each picture. And of course it'll progress as the year goes on, which tree has the fewest apples, the most. It's just perfect, so perfect for age 3. And they can just do like half a page or 1 page, but it gives them that intentional school time too, and thinking about math concepts. And I know manipulatives are really important at this age too, so I do not expect Soren to sit down and do a bunch of worksheet pages, but he really does love this book and he's so proud to get to do it. So I say, why not? And then in Sophie's current curriculum basket here, we've got her little math manipulatives box that came with her Good and the Beautiful math curriculum. This is the Good and the Beautiful's Math K curriculum. I don't have a dedicated YouTube video about this because I think life was just really crazy right then when we bought this, and so I didn't do a video all about it. But we started with this mid-year last year. There are a lot of lessons in it. As you can see, it's really beautiful. They do a good job with it, but yeah, there are a lot of lessons, so we're going to really take our time getting these concepts down throughout this year. I mean, it is Math K. Here's lesson 78. I can't remember if there's over 100 lessons, but they do such a good job with these games, and I just love how they teach these mathematical concepts. And Sophie is someone who, like me, really appreciates when something is lovely and they have really cute imaginary, stories or like mini games all throughout the lessons. And the Good and the Beautiful does this really well. Both here and in their language arts curriculum, they actually kind of sneak in the drill work. They make it seem so sweet and fun about a squirrel and acorns, but boy, they really work in great practice. This is the kindergarten prep course book. It is not very thick. There are not a lot of lessons, but we are working our way through it. We started this at the end of last school year, or I don't know, sometime last school year when we wrapped up the longer preschool level curriculum. So they sometimes have little videos to watch. They have, right now, Sophie had to read these passwords to get into the castle. So they have a lot of really sweet and beautiful lessons in the kindergarten prep course book. I do have a YouTube video all about this kindergarten prep course book, so you can check that out as well. Another thing that I've really loved from the Good and the Beautiful has been their handwriting workbooks. This is the level K, so it really is getting into more letters and numbers. They have tracing and then some room for independent work and even a little bit of coloring, which is always fun for kids. But the handwriting book Sophie did last year, I think they have 2 of them called pre-writing, and pre-writing has a lot of like dashed lines and squiggles and really cute things to trace. Okay, I found it. Here's doodles and pre-writing for littles. So this is what you can do before even the level K handwriting. So these are roller coasters over here. So they just have a lot of fun practice with tracing and doodles. And Sophie loved these so much. She used to sit in the evenings and work on her pre-writing. This is something I created myself. This is our daily calendar page. And I actually have this listed for, I think it's like a couple bucks on my Etsy page, and so you can find this on Etsy if you'd like it too. I had just struggled to find a daily calendar page that had all the elements I wanted. I wanted it to start on Sunday, and I wanted it to have number practice and weather, and then counting to and coloring the date. And I wanted it to line up and have tens. So I guess I was kind of picky about different things, but I designed 12 months worth, and you can get that on Etsy if you're interested. This can be slipped into a restaurant menu or a sheet protector, one of those plastic page protectors. But Sophie really likes the practice. I like the practice for her with a pencil and colored pencils. So that's what we're liking so far, is not doing it with a dry erase marker, but there are a lot of ways you could use these. You could use these for homeschool time or even in a larger classroom setting, I think, for morning time or circle time. We love DK books, and I had discovered this year that they have geography workbooks, and this is just pre-K, but then K is next. They have really cute short lessons about geography, and I thought that was a really great way to start delving into this subject with Sophie. I also decided to get the Is it pronounced Abeka? I didn't grow up, with that company, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but Abeka, Health, Safety, and Manners 1. So this is, we have not started doing health yet this year, but it is just a good way to start talking about health topics like sleeping and good habits for sleeping and eating, and even neighborhood safety in a storm, all kinds of things. So I think this will be good. We might even continue this into next year as well. Well, friends, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was inspirational or helpful for you. Make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel here if you aren't already, and make sure you're following along on Instagram over at Hannah B. Olson, because that's where I share daily stuff. Thank you again for watching, and I hope wherever you're at that you're having a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.